Riz, I'm going to just tell you right now, dude, it is great to meet you, even though it's virtual. Big fan of your work, my man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
How did this role have an impact on your own personal life?
In many, many ways, the thing that initially drew me to the script, to doing the project, was the script and how emotional it was. And I think taking on this role kind of, hopefully every role does this a little bit, some more than others, probably kind of put me in touch with my own, emotions and feelings and where I'm at with some of my, issues that I'm facing that are similar to Ruben's, control issues or desire to kind of always be productive. I think that had an impact. I think the other big impact was, of course, learning the drums and learning sign language. They're both kinds of non-verbal communication. So they both very much opened me up, and allowed me to kind of, just embody myself differently, and embody the character differently. It was just a very enriching experience learning those two skills.
How emotional was this role for you?
Oh, I mean, incredibly emotional. All you have to do is watch Riz and his performance and be around that, and you'd be so hard pressed to not be moved. He's a very beautiful actor, and we were so codependent towards the end of the first act, because we had rehearsed together and performed together and performed in this tiny little airstream in the baking sun in Boston. When we shot it on film, so we only got 2 or 3 takes each, so it was impossible not to be in it every second that we were on camera together. So yeah, I mean, God, very emotional, and I'm just an emotional wreck anyway.
As a director, and this is your first feature film, which I just don't believe, because it's just amazing. For first time, man, dude, you nailed it. But how impressed as a director are you with the cast and how they immerse themselves in this?
Well, I'm so impressed and I'm so honored. I can't even express to you it. Like, first of all, I raised the bar way up high for all actors. And that's partially why some people didn't do it, because it was scary. I scared the crap out of everyone I talked to. So the people that ended up here, Riz and Olivia and Paul, these are brave, brave actors. They were willing to lay themselves bare for this movie. And that was that's like you say, as a first-time director in a fiction film, that's a tough sell. Someone's got to believe in me and trust a process that is not simple, not clean, not easy, no safety nets. Live club, real audience, no cutaways, no body doubles, no nothing. And Riz losing his hearing in real time. I don't know if he told you that. He had custom earpieces that didn't allow him to hear his own voice. No control, but pure instinct. That's where the magic of performance can come from, I think. When you feel that from an actor, like we felt from the great actors when they've let go in that way, that's what Riz entered into.
How challenging was this role for you? Because there are some scenes where you're acting using sign language only. The screen is silent and it's sign language, and that's got to be a different method for you. Tell me about that experience.
Yeah, well, as I said, it's just a kind of nonverbal communication. And, as someone who's usually very much wrapped up in words, as a rapper and a spoken word artist, it was stepping out of my comfort zone, but it was welcome. It was something that I probably needed to do, is kind of get past these words and get to the core of how things feel in your body. My sign instructor, Jeremy Stone, once told me, look, sometimes deaf people say that hearing people are emotionally repressed because they hide behind words. And when I first started communicating in sign language, it got me a lot more emotional than it would have if I would have just spoken the words. So in a way, it kind of was just a real gift. It really opened me up. Yes, it was a challenge in that it was a different, but it wasn't any less. It was in many ways more than communicating verbally.
You should be really proud, because this movie not only is just beautiful, it's deep. Your scenes in particular really, really meant a lot in the fact that you are guiding Riz. So how impressed were you? I know that he immersed himself, learned sign language. Did you have to help him through any of those scenes?
Oh, no. He's a pretty smart actor. we weren't really that close during the filming because we were just getting to know each other as characters too. So we knew each other surfacely, and when we did our last scene, we finally relaxed with each other when we went out to dinner. But so I love the way the both of us were treating it like we never did more than 1 or 2 takes of any scene, if you can believe that, because it's a very small budget. So never more than 3 takes, always usually 1 or 2. And so our relationship, I liked the way he was handling it as far as that's how it was in the movie. So pretty smart guy.
One of my favorite scenes of this movie is your musical performance. How different of an acting experience was that for you?
I'm so glad we did it this way. I'm so glad we performed it live and it's us playing the instruments and singing, and the crowd was encouraged to be as vocal as possible too. So we did really feed off each other, but it is a just terrifying experience. I feel sick even thinking about it. It was just, and my string snapped right before we were about to shoot, and I was like, it's a sign. Yeah, very different.
I have to ask about some other cast members that you included. You brought people that are deaf, hard of hearing, to play some of the other characters in this film. And tell me about casting them, what the experience was like for you, and what was it like for them to be a part of this film?
Well, I think that I know that the experience we all shared together was really, really rich. I'll just say that the deaf community that I worked with, many of whom were from Boston and local Boston actors, and the casting process was really fascinating and challenging and creative. And, but, I think everyone would share that we had just an incredible time. I think they were really gracious with me because it's a learning curve. For people within the hearing community and culture, it takes time to learn what it takes to work with deaf actors, and they were forgiving when they needed to be, and I appreciate that. And we just worked hard to get it right. How many interpreters do you need? Are the interpreters good enough? Because it's not enough to just have an interpreter, but that interpreter has to be good enough. There's so much nuance, of course, to this culture and this language, and so it's about honoring and because we're not really representing deaf culture, we're just allowed into deaf culture.
How personal is this story to you?
Very personal. I'm a Vietnam War veteran. I've had addictions myself since leaving the war, coming home. Just about ruined my life until I discovered acting. And that didn't really help until I discovered my own spirituality and meditation. So how close is it to me? Very close. My mother was a lip reader. A lot of things that Joe does in this movie are right out of my mother's playbook. So it's pretty close.
As an actress, how rewarding is it for you? I'm sure you've seen and read the people are just praising everybody's performance in this film, including yourself. But you all put a lot into these characters, and I can tell the performance it shows. How rewarding as an actress is it for you to know that people are recognizing that and saying, wow, these are just incredible performances?
That is lovely. It's lovely, but I was told a long time ago that if you believe someone's praise, and you've got to believe their criticism as well. And so, I don't know how I feel about that. I just want to believe all the good stuff. But I'm glad people are seeing it because it's an independent film, and in this day and age, you just never know what's going to be seen or not. And so I'm really glad that this is getting the life that it deserves because everyone worked so hard.
Paul, I'm going to wrap with this. Sum up this experience for you to be a part of this incredible film that's getting rave reviews, deservedly so. What this experience, summarize this for me.
I just hope that people look at this movie and appreciate their hearing, for one thing, and realize how sensitive your ears are. I've always had earplugs in all the bands I've ever been in. You got to really take care of that. And this is a real thing. But beyond that deaf people are not a monolith. Deaf people, some of them are crazy about music, if you can believe that. So you can't judge a book by its cover. Deaf people are open. They love when you want to know about them and their language. Come on, man. Open up. It's American Sign Language is beautiful.